wanna do is drink beer for breakfast. All I wanna do is drink beer for breakfast.
KPAM News Time, 741. It's first edition. News Talk 860 KPAM, 740. Thursday mornings means the first edition Beer Geek is on the air. And this morning we are going across the Columbia River into the Couve, where lots of tremendous things are happening when it comes to craft beer, and talk to the owner and founder of Vancouver's newest brewery. Literally, you've been open since Monday. Trusty Brewing Company in downtown Vancouver. Gary Paul, welcome to KPAM.
Thanks, Tim.
It's so great to have you here. You and I have been friends for years. And
Yes, we have.
You've been a home brewer longer than I have. And you've dreamed about opening your own brewery longer than I have. And here you are. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting.
and exhausting, too, I would imagine.
Oh, yes. There's lots of hours, but it's satisfaction.
All right. So talk a little bit about Trusty Brewing Company. Where did the name come from? How did you end up in Vancouver?
Well, we were trying to start a brewery in Portland for a year. The real estate was problematic, and so we stumbled upon a deal in the Couve with a complete brewery setup, and it was magic. We made an offer, and now we are the owners of Trusty Brewing Company.
and it's just you and your wife Andrea running
That's
the company,
right. That's right. No partners necessary.
How's it feel?
It's like I said, it's super exciting. Selling your own product to the public's very satisfying.
Now, you've been brewing your own beer for how long? I mean, as a home brewer.
Around 20 years.
Yeah. And so how does it feel now to be actually operating a commercial brewery instead of out in your driveway?
Well, there's a lot more regulations, and there's a lot of, more quality control, especially now that you're selling it to the public. Like I said, it's very satisfying, too, to just brew and sell and meet the community.
You say you've been open since Monday.
Yes.
We were over there for a friends and family event last weekend. It's a fantastic spot right in downtown Vancouver. What's the reaction from the public been?
It's been overwhelmingly a popular spot. People have been walking off the street saying they've been watching the paper come down, the signs go up, and the Couve is very excited to have us there, as I am excited to be there.
Yeah, there is a lot happening in the the Couve when it comes to craft beer. You've got Mount Tabor, fairly established. You've got Lewitt, but there's other places in addition to you guys that have opened up.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a few. Heathen, Old Ivy is there. The list goes on and on. I think there's 10 or 11. I know that there's a Brewcoover Passport, of which I'm number 7.
That's good to know. So definitely stop number 7.
Yes.
So what have been the biggest challenges in getting everything off the ground?
Well, I think the beer has been the easier part. It's the food side, the regulations, the health department, things that I had no idea about. That were really the most challenging.
Yeah, and so for folks who may be thinking of making the leap like you've been lucky enough to make the leap from home brewer to professional brewer, what sort of advice would you have for them?
Reconsider the whole process. You have to really be obsessed with beer and brewing and love it beyond what you think you do.
Yeah. Now, you were giving us the grand tour during this friends and family event, and you really seem at home in that brewery down in the basement.
I do. It's kind of a dungeon-esque place, but
No, it's not.
it's where the magic happens, and I am very comfortable there.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's all about the beer for you. I mean,
yes.
You probably didn't get in this to run a restaurant.
Absolutely not.
But you've got how many beers on tap?
Right now we have 5 beers on tap. We have 3 beers that are ready to go on tap. We're just taking it slow, and we have 8 taps in our tap room. So with an 8-tank system, it should be no problem to keep the beer flowing.
All right. So speaking of beer flowing,
Yes.
we're getting ahead of ourselves here and having so much fun talking. You haven't actually poured beer yet. So what have you brought us today?
Today I brought some Foreign Extra Stout. It's going to be one of our all the time beers. It's a stout, a little bit higher in alcohol, less body. That's why it's a Foreign Extra Stout. It's a legitimate style of beer. It doesn't have a name yet. That's part of the challenge is coming up with names for beers.
Yeah.
So,
but is this a tried and true
absolutely
homebrew recipe of yours?
This is a scaled up homebrew recipe.
So I probably had this beer at your house at some point.
A few times. A few times.
All right. Well, here we go.
Cheers. Thank
my
you.
friend. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a delicious way to start your day. So
Yeah, I thought that would be good for the morning.
a good breakfast beer.
Yes.
So, I mean, for folks not familiar with the style, what is it? Describe it.
Like I said, it's thinner in body. It's very roasty, without that aggressive coffee flavor. The noticeable roast. It's 7% alcohol.
What was it like to brew a homebrew recipe on a big system?
It's actually very nice for my system. I have a 3.5 barrel system. When I was a home brewer, it was 10 gallons. Now I'm brewing 100 gallons. So it scales up very easily with some corrections along the way.
We're talking with Gary Paul, who is the owner and founder of Vancouver's newest brewery, Trusty Brewing Company, on East Evergreen Boulevard in Vancouver. So full menu if you want to come in and have a bite with your beer, and kid friendly, I would imagine.
Absolutely kid friendly till closing.
All right, very cool. And what are your hours right now? And maybe I put you on the spot here if you're brand new.
4 to 10 during the week, 10 noon to 10 on the weekends. This Sunday we will be closed, but after that, that's our schedule.
All right, and do you have a grand opening celebration or anything like that planned? Again, I put you on the spot again.
We do. We are in the process of planning it. The weekends seem to be booked with other beer events. I'm doing a Clark County Public Utilities 5 and 10K. I'm one of the sponsors of that, which takes up weekends.
Fantastic.
So we will announce that later.
And last but not least, where did the name Trusty Brewing Company come from?
It was my name. I just wanted to be your go-to beer. And whenever you pull up into a bar and say, I'll have a Trusty IPA or a Trusty Stout, I'm hoping people will say, hey, that's a great marketing that's built into the name.
See, you have thought this through.
A little.
All right. One more time. Cheers, Gary.
Thank you so much.
Gary Paul with Trusty Brewing Company with us live here on the first edition Beer Geek, 114 East Evergreen Boulevard in Vancouver. What's the cross street?
Broadway and East Evergreen.
Perfect. They're on Facebook, Trusty Brewing, and www.trustybrewing.com. Cheers, Gary.
Thank you again.
That's your first edition Beer Geek on News Talk 860 KPAM. This day in Oregon history is coming up.